So, I see now that Chris Cargill is available, and he is virtual, and he is going to testify for. So we'll give him a moment to get...
Good morning, Madam Chair. Can you hear me?
We can. So you're for the record information, and you may begin. You have 2 minutes, sir.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I'm Chris Cargill, the president of the Mountain States Policy Center. Thank you, Representative Clow, for the invitation to address the committee this morning. And while Mountain States Policy Center does not officially endorse or oppose any legislation, we do want you to know that we appreciate the careful and thoughtful approach to this bill. As many of you know, education choice improves outcomes. In fact, 20 of 21 in-depth studies show that education choice improves outcomes. If you want to read through all those studies, you can go to our website at mountainstatespolicy.org. The Peabody Journal of Education says, quote, "A review of the empirical research of education choice finds that it delivers benefits to participating students, particularly in the area of educational attainment, and also helps the achievement of students who remain in the public schools." Education choice comes in many different shapes and sizes, but I hope that the committee and lawmakers will not make the mistake of calling an education savings account a voucher. There is no such thing as an ESA voucher, and lawmakers should not fall into the trap of labeling this program a voucher. A voucher would only let parents use tax dollars to pay for tuition at a private school approved by the state, and typically the state writes a check directly to that school in the name of the student. Whereas an education savings account, the money is held by the state, not given directly to the schools. Second, an ESA lets parents use part of the funds on a variety of educational services. Think tutoring and mental health treatment and curriculum, special needs services, and much more, so long as it's for an educational purpose. My son is a special needs child. Luckily, my wife and I have been able to afford to get him the help he needs to succeed and thrive. But think about all the students whose family cannot afford it. They have their faces pressed against the windows of opportunity, and they're just hoping that you'll give them a chance to succeed as well. So thank you very much for the opportunity to testify this morning.
Thank you, Mr. Cargill. Are there any questions? Representative Hawkins.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Cargill, this is Representative Hawkins. We hear a lot in opposition to this. We hear that it's broken the bank in states and defunded schools so they couldn't operate properly. Can you speak to that?
Mr.
Absolutely.
Cargill.
And one of the studies that has been put out there by another group in the state of Idaho suggests that this is going to divert a lot of money into private schools or out of the public school system. We have not seen that play out in other states. There is no evidence to suggest that 95% of homeschoolers, for instance, will participate in the program. There's no evidence to suggest that 75% of private school students will participate in the program. And to the point that is made earlier, the money that is already allocated to students in the public school system, if they decide to leave and go to a separate school, 20% of the funds stay in the public school. So I think that's important to point out, and the evidence does not show that it bankrupts the public school system. In fact, the evidence shows that it actually increases the per student amount that we spend on public schools.